Welcome to August After Dark, Mike. Welcome to August Motorcars.
I'm excited to be here again.
um, it's gonna be really cool. I think got some pretty cool guests to start this off, and
Yes.
I think what we're gonna share today is the conversation on like the start of August Motorcars
Oh, we've got some stories for that.
from the beginning to where we are today. I think there's a lot of fun content we'll share and we'll put up as well that people know what we're talking about, and we'll go back all the way down the timeline. And so yeah, I guess let's dive in. It's so 2015.
2015 is where it started.
Well, I guess slightly before that. So little bit of history on myself, I guess, for those listeners.
Yeah.
Our family had a Mazda dealership in Kelowna since 1945 is when we began selling cars in Kelowna. My grandfather, called Kelowna Motors. And so in 2014, 2015, I guess, used cars in the Mazda dealership was like a big part to me. And I actually have always loved used cars. And we were doing lots of trucks and different things. There was always like different product for sale. It wasn't
Just Mazda, it was everything.
It was
brands.
all brands, but just a lot of different stuff too. And at one point, I remember I went to the auction and I bought a yellow Lamborghini Gallardo Spider.
I remember that.
And I remember bidding on the car, and Mark Bergman from Odessa, who's still like a very close friend to ours and who does all of our auctioneering for all of our events and stuff. He, I asked like, what's the buy fee? I don't know. I've never bought one of these before. And his comment to me was, well, when you can afford it, you'll find out. And I was like,
Or didn't he say if you had to ask, you couldn't afford it? Something like that?
it was something along those lines. And him and I always joke about it still to this day. And, so anyways, I bought the car, and he apologized to me later because he's like, I thought you were someone else. I'm totally sorry, whatever. And actually, me and Abe drove the car back from Vancouver. And at that point, that was our first one. And then we got a Turbo S, and we had a blue F430 Spider. And I remember a lot of the conversation of people that were interested in those cars were like, I'm not really sure. I don't really want to buy it from a Mazda dealership, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, well, whatever. And so at that point, your wife, Kelly, who began in selling
Insurance.
road insurance.
She's a road agent, yeah.
We moved her into finance, obviously got to know you through her working for us.
Yeah.
And at that point, you were working at Value Mitsubishi.
Yeah. I was there for 12 years.
And like the best salesman, and
I was the top salesman in the country. Then I went into finance, and then I started running the store at one point there too. And I dabbled in high-end cars because I loved cars just like you did. So I would buy my own cars and sell them on the side. And then Rick let me buy cars through the store where I didn't have to pay the tax, and then I could sell them through the store, and we just split the profit. But I got to drive. It was like my own demos.
Yeah, and I remember calling you and was like, hey, I have this idea. There's this building that is like in foreclosure. And I remember saying to you like, hey, like, would you be interested in us going together and building this business? And now today, obviously, August Motorcars.
I remember we were thinking about the names.
We had so many different names. It was actually my dad who was like, why don't you just name it after what people know in the car business locally?
Well, I'm glad we went with that because some of the other names we had, I wish I could remember them, but they were.
I remember them. I'm not even going to say,
are you?
No, they're so bad.
I wish I remember because I would say.
It was so bad. Like I think one was like Excalibur Cars or something, and it was just. I think it ended up working out great, obviously,
For sure.
And it was my dad who was like, why don't you guys just name it after your last name and our history in the car business.
People got to understand too how young we actually were when we started August Motorcars. Like
I was 25. Like 25 years old,
and I was 35. Yeah. So we're 10 years apart. So I was 35, and still that yellow Lamborghini. I still remember the first story you told me about that car is when you bought it. This was you're just dabbling in supercars, and you're driving with the top down. Weren't you with your sister? And that little tiny piece of glass at the back took a rock and smashed out. and you went to replace it. And how much was that little?
It was like 11 grand or something, and
Yes.
it was literally a piece of glass this big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny. It still blows my mind how much that piece of glass was.
It blows my mind every day when something breaks on these cars of how much
On
they
some of
cost.
them, yeah.
So also too, like, back to the people don't know obviously how old we are.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people on the internet think we're brothers.
Yeah, everyone thinks we're brothers.
So his last name is Mike Hall.
Yes.
And my last name is August.
Yes.
So we're not brothers, but we pretty much are now.
Pretty much are, yeah.
And so how we got the building is it was in foreclosure, and you had to go to court, and you had to like put a sealed bid in because there's leasehold improvements and so on and so forth. And I went in and kind of put my business plan together, and this is what I could afford to pay for the leaseholds and everything else. And I know my dad too at the time was like, we're really good at selling Mazdas in town and everything else, and I don't know if it's worth us kind of going into a whole different realm of vehicles and stuff. And he was in Arizona or something at their house down there, and of course, as my personality, I went out and just put the bid anyway, and surprise. Actually, I didn't even tell him. I think he saw an email come through from our insurance company that there was another building that was added to our insurance policy. And he phoned me. He was like, "What is this?
What are you doing now?"
Yeah. So, anyways, I guess it's funny when you look back at it, and you still, people always thought, like, how are you going to do that in a town? Like, for those who don't know, Kelowna is like 250,000 people.
And back when we started, it was even smaller.
It was even smaller for sure. And it's funny. It's just always been like, you guys are crazy. There's no way that's going to work. So on and so forth.
Well, Kelowna is a big retirement town. There wasn't that many supercars in town when we started. I remember the hate we got just driving them. I had people pull up beside me. I was driving a bright orange Lamborghini, and I had a guy pull up beside me. He points to roll my window down. I roll my window down. He goes, "Nice car, asshole." And I didn't know what to say, but thanks.
Like, what else do you say?
What else do you say in that situation?
Yeah, it was funny actually, because when we first opened, every time someone would go on a test drive, remember?
Yeah.
The police would pull them over.
Yeah.
And we would get pulled over all the time, and we had to have conversation. And I think it was because of what business was being done in that building before, which was like really hard to overcome that locally too, of
we're not them.
Yeah, totally. So, again, just roadblock, always something, right?
Yeah.
And I remember we'll show a picture of our showroom when we first moved in there. It was like a 2011 R8 V10 Spider, which we just sold not long ago again. It was like we sold that car 4 times.
I've got the car, actually. I got the photo right here.
Yeah.
So there's you and me right at the start in the showroom. And we look like we aged probably 35 years in 10 years.
That would be what the car business does.
That's the car business for you, yeah.
But everybody says, "Oh, it must be easy." Look at a picture of us 10 years ago.
But in the background, you can see we got a Jeep Cherokee, a Dodge Challenger, an SL, a Porsche, and then the R8. And then right here, that F430, that first one, your dad's car.
Yeah.
That was the first supercar we sold here. The F430.
To Stu.
Was
and Stu,
01,
it was to Stu.
01.
And I remember him looking at it at Mazda and wasn't sure. And then when we opened the new building, he came in and again, still like another great client who's still a friend of ours.
Which is funny because that car, we sold it to him. We sold it again later for him, and he made 30 or 40 grand on it. Then the next guy bought it and owned it for a while, and then it sold for even more than that guy paid for it. That just shows you what supercars can do.
That car's still worth the same as what we sold it for back then.
Yeah, it is.
Like 100% of it.
Yeah, for sure.
And then from there, I think we added to the fleet quite quickly. Like we added, I think soon after that was the Orange Aventador.
That's the one I got sworn at.
Yeah. And then one car that I will always remember and never forget is that white Mercy.
Yeah, that was the one you drove.
Show a picture of it.
Yes.
Because if someone owns it, I'd love the opportunity to buy that car back. I would, just for nostalgia. It was white car, black stripe.
The loudest Murcielago, hands down, on the planet. So loud that we had 22 cars in our showroom. We'd pull them all out. The Mercy would go out first, and we had to warn everyone so no one had a heart attack in the building when it started. And there was times we thought it was going to blow the windows out of the place. We'd get it outside. We'd fire up the rest of this, and they're all supercars. I'm telling you, we'd pull them all outside, and you could only hear one fucking car running.
Mhm.
It sounded like only one car running. That was that Murcielago.
Yeah,
That's how loud that car was.
It was an amazing sounding car. I remember I took that car to that rally in Vancouver. You were in the
I
McLaren.
was a McLaren.
And I remember us coming home and you guys were behind me and you guys had to like slow down and like get some distance because your eyes were watering because of just like the fuel, the smell of the car.
We were obscenely hungover too.
Yes.
So like I was holding my hat, my puke hat, which is another story to tell you why that is a thing for me, I guess. We'll tell you a little later. But I had my hat in my hand as I'm driving, and all I could smell is fuel and burning my eyes, and it was off. It was hot. It was awful. And we're doing this windy road because Matt's like, we're going to go down the Pemberton way and come back.
Yeah, the Duffy Lake Road.
The Duffy Lake Road. And hungover, guys, I could tell you that is the worst road to drive down hungover in a supercar.
Yeah, that's very true. Going from there, so that, I mean, I think we're still in 2015 at that point.
Yeah.
And
everyone remember,
Pirate Rally.
Yeah, and everyone remember 25 and 35. We're young cowboys with supercar. Now we have all these supercars at our fingers.
Yeah. So
the Pirate
I can't
Rally.
remember how that came up. It was someone I knew who was like, "Hey, we're holding this rally in
and you couldn't
Vancouver."
Make it.
I couldn't make it for whatever. I can't remember the reason. And you went.
Yes.
And we deckled the car. We put a big August Motor Cars on the side door. And
big, like 4 feet on the doors, 4 feet across the hood, August billboard.
Totally.
And then you tell me that it's the Pirate Rally and you have to dress up like pirates. Everyone's in character, which was not the fucking case when I got there. But I didn't know, so I took my brother-in-law because I needed to have a co-pilot. So me and my brother-in-law went out. We get to the hotel. We go to the Halloween shop and buy pirate costumes, which we'll show you a photo here. And we show up to this rally, all supercar guys. We're new to the supercar business, and we got this August Motor Cars billboard on our car. And we pull up, we get out of the car, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, "You fucking asshole!" And I call Matt. He's laughing, and I said, "This is not a costume rally. Like, we're the only two dressed up like pirates." And he's laughing on the phone. But it was good. We ended up winning best dressed or best costume.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, it was the only ones wearing costumes. But that was just some of the games that we played. We had fun all the way through.
Yeah, and then we added to the showroom quite quickly. Remember we put the hoists in?
Yeah.
So we had the triples or the doubles, double wide hoists, which we have here, which that showroom would house as many cars as we have on the back wall here.
Yeah. There was 27 cars in that showroom.
Yeah. What car, other than the Mercy, because I think that car both stuck out to both of us, that like kind of pivoted the store and like, because the thing is you can't just start this. I mean, I guess you have to start somewhere for sure, but we had to kind of show Canada and Kelowna and people who are interested in these cars that we have the inventory, we have the knowledge, which we do have the knowledge. We did have the knowledge for sure. We were
both big into cars.
Car guys from the very beginning. So what car kind of showed up for you that you think kind of pivoted the brand and kind of like changed the trajectory of what we were doing?
Still to this day, it's that orange Aventador. That was the first crazy supercar that we got. I remember it coming off the truck, and just the color, it just sounded crazy, looked crazy. That was probably my favorite car back in the day when that happened. Obviously, there's more that we've progressed that have come out, that like the one sitting across from us right now, or the Revington.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think made us different than anybody else? Like,
we're true car guys and we love what we do. So it's not like we're not selling cars because we have to. we're selling cars because we love them, for one. So it was more of a hobby for me. I've always loved cars, as I know you do. I always read Road and Track. I bought a DuPont every single time I was anywhere. I would read about every car, all the builds, and you don't get that in a lot of dealers. People are selling cars because they're providing for their family, or they need a job. Or we're selling cars because we love them.
We still have to provide.
We still have to provide, but
Yeah,
we're lucky we get to provide doing something we love.
for sure.
We kind of became friends with all of our clients, like going to their weddings, going to events. So I don't know if it was just more of like we became real friends with our clients.
Well, that too, but I'm more or less saying that just on the marketing side of things too.
Yeah.
Like we did things different. I remember down in Penticton, where I closed that road right along
Yeah,
the water,
that was
and
one of our first videos.
one of our first
We
videos,
had a
and
helicopter flying beside us.
yeah, we had Alpine helicopters came out
Yeah,
and had drones in the air and stuff like that,
yeah,
and that's how we were filming our commercials, and we had all the cars in one of the hangars at Alpine at one point. Um, that was like, and I still think it is. I know it is actually because it's one of my favorite parts of the business is the marketing part and the
yeah.
content
How creative
and
you can be with marketing.
yeah, and building on that, I think it shows who the brand is and who the
Hmm.
people are by how much work they put into the content that they produce. And we didn't skip out on it. Like we put all of the effort in.
Hmm.
We always, to this day, it is my number one priority that we come out with amazing content, cinematic. it I want the viewer and the person watching to, feel it and get
Hmm.
goosebumps from it. Um, and I think I think I mean, look around it, look what we're doing now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a huge part of our business, and arguably I think the biggest part of our business is what we do with content and how we advertise our cars and how big of a reach we've got
Hmm.
and how many people have become big fans of ours. And a lot of that too is we've had a really cool relationship with Dave and Damon at DDE. And
Daily Driven Exotics. Yeah.
yeah, and I remember the first car they bought from us was the R8. Remember we went
Yeah.
down and Damon bought it to surprise Dave, and we unveiled it. Remember we did it
Yeah.
on the water, kind of.
Yeah.
I'm
Right in
sure we can pull
Vancouver.
a YouTube video
Yeah.
up and show everybody. We all look really young. I actually watched that not long ago. We all look so young compared to the
But
we
that
are
was the
today.
second video we did with them. The first video we did with them was when we went golfing. We used your Ferrari and my Golf GT3 RS. They didn't buy a car from us yet. That was the first video.
Was it?
Well, I'm pretty sure that was it was close. We did a few videos with them right away, but I'm pretty sure it was we went golfing with them, and Dave is like never golfed before, and I don't know if he's very sports like yeah, his coordination golfing wasn't the best. And we showed up at Predator Ridge, beautiful course, very prestigious course, and here we come with a Ferrari 488 and a loud Porsche GT3 RS, and we pulled right up to the putting greens, and we were right up on the
Yeah,
driving range.
we have the golf bags out the side window. They were our like golf carts.
Yeah, and how pissed people were because no one knew that we were coming except the manager of the course. And all the players there were like giving us dirty looks and pissed right off. And we're pulling up beside the greens to finish our hole, and people are pissed off and looking
Yeah.
at us because the cars were loud, and we had to cold start them every time we went to the next hole.
Yeah. And then I remember I surprised Dave and Damon we had Okanagan Mountain helicopters.
Yes.
Because at that point I was getting my license, like in the middle of
Yeah.
starting to learn how to fly helicopters. And I remember phoning George and being like, "Hey, I think this would be cool. It's a cool YouTube channel, and I think it would be a neat addition to the video we're shooting." So Dave and Damon flew back. Remember when we raced them back? We drove the cars. And
Yeah.
it was like first one back to the airport. We lost.
We lost, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
But the best thing still, I remember, so the hole that the guy landed on was the one right behind us. We're finishing filming on a different hole, and there was another guy coming up to tee off. And he's looking at us, just shaking his head like we're a bunch of assholes with two supercars on the grass. He looks down, he doesn't even look down the fairway yet, and there's a helicopter 200 yards out sitting in the middle of his fairway. So he's looking at us, shakes his head, gives me a dirty look, puts his ball in, and I'm waiting for him to notice the helicopter sitting in front of him. And he looks up and he he finally sees the helicopter. He's so pissed off, he kicks his ball, throws his club, and storms off, which I just thought was funny. And we only did, what, 3 holes?
Yeah, it was only 3
We
holes,
weren't
yeah.
there very long. But it was just funny, his emotion that he was so pissed off. And he wasn't even supposed to be on those holes because
Yeah,
that
'cause
was
they closed it.
the closed area.
Yeah. Yeah, that's when
So
they were redoing that back 9.
I didn't feel sorry for him because he's not supposed to be there anyways, but it was quite funny to see how pissed off he got.
Yeah. It's lots of cool stories with Damon and Dave and
Oh, yeah.
lots of fun stuff, and I
They
mean,
ended up living with me for quite a while, and
yeah.
I've got lots of stories to tell you guys about that.
Well, we'll have
Lots of-
them on the chat on
Yeah.
the podcast here
yeah.
and go through like what that was, the 3 of us or 4 of us, and how the evolution of DD and August Motor Cars and stuff kind of climbed
Yeah.
and climbed together, which was really cool.
Yeah.
Um,
Because when we met DD, they only had I think there were about 400,000 followers back then. And, you know, they've, like Damon and Dave, done a great job. They've taken off.
Unbelievable, yeah.
One of the best
automotive content creators in the world, for sure.
in the world.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of work. Like, I've helped do it a lot of times with them. I've went to LA with them. It's insane what they do and all the effort they put in. Everyone only sees the videos or sees the 30-minute clip that they cut out, but they filmed probably 8 hours to get that 30 minutes.
Totally.
And trying to come up with something every day, creative and exciting. And to do that they've been doing it for like 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
which is insane.
Well, more than that.
10 years with us.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And Damon did it a few years before that. And it's funny watching, if you guys are DDE fans, go watch some of the original videos. There wasn't much talking in it until Damon got obviously really confident. And he's awesome when he's talking. But Dave, you can see Dave in the background. He was very quiet. He didn't really talk. He wasn't really brought in as a co-host.
Yeah.
And then he started doing it and he crushed it. It's just funny to watch them grow as well. Same as us.
Well, you have to start somewhere, and
Exactly.
I think that's a big thing with everybody listening is, everybody's allowed to dream, and I've always said people need to dream, and dreamers eventually
Mhm.
achieve, and it doesn't matter how crazy your idea might be, and just you keep doing it day in and day out. I mean, like us, and when we first started, there was no luxury tax, there was nothing, and
it was HST when we started.
Yeah.
So it was 13% across the board. Didn't matter how expensive the car was.
Yeah, now it's 26% in BC.
Yeah.
Like it's
And on new, it's 36%.
Yeah.
On anything over 150.
Yeah, it's wild how, we've still been able to, and I think that's why like the content and the marketing and the way we've done it has been able to make us a, globally known brand that we're able to sell cars all over the world is because of that, because we can't just rely on our government to make it kind of easy to do business, especially in the province of British Columbia.
Very creative.
Yeah.
A lot of the social media stuff that we've done, you're great at coming up with ideas for that. We've had motocross guys doing flips over supercars. We've had crazy track days. We've had so many experiences through, and we'll go through a lot of that.
Speaking of track days, when we first became corporate members of Area 27, you bought a Radical.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I had a Formula Mazda.
Yeah.
And we hadn't even taken those cars to the racetrack yet. We had them wrapped and all deckled and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we were getting the service guys to go through all the cars and make sure they were good, because we were going to the track like a few days after we were doing this.
Yeah.
And where our store used to be was like a loop, and it was called McCurdy Place. And it was laid out. None of the businesses were open, and we would test the cars on that loop.
Yes.
And we weren't like, it wasn't it wasn't
no
crazy
one was in
speeds,
danger,
but we were safe.
Yeah.
Probably not allowed to do it, but and shortly after that, I think, it was probably because of us working there and the cars and stuff. They
the
put speed
supercars
bumps
would come
in
around there, yeah.
and things like that. But those cars, I remember thinking like, this is going to be the best idea we've ever had. This is going to be so much fun and everything else. And it's so much work to run a race car.
Yes.
Like, if I was to go down there by myself, I would need to bring 2 friends to help me get the car in and out of the trailer. They're so low, they're so hard to get in and out, and once I'm in, I have to get the whole, like, surround to put me in, 'cause I was an open wheel Formula Mazda, and then you had to, like, clip your Hans device in and everything else and get all buckled in, and you couldn't do that by yourself.
No.
So, you'd have to try to, like, convince people in the middle of summer, it's, like, 50 degrees out there, and
Yes.
to come help you run this race car. But we would do it on our track days, where we would host our guests and our clients, and we were able to run with the advanced group, which was super cool. And I
Yeah.
think our clients in, like, a Ferrari and stuff thought it was pretty neat to have these little race cars, and, by the time we'd got around them and how fast we could go through
Oh,
those
yeah.
corners and stuff. But still, a core memory of mine that I'll never forget from that racetrack is me and you out there, and you were chasing me.
By ourselves.
We were by ourselves,
Yes, I remember.
and we weren't used to slicks.
Yes.
We obviously knew enough, but, like, enough to be, like, really dangerous with them too.
Yes. Yes.
And so yeah, I guess go through that day with me when we had your wife was at the track.
Yeah,
That was
so
Kelly's first time being there.
Kelly's first time being there. I take my Radical out. Me and Matt are out, and we were out a session before everything was good, and we were out with the group, and then we went out by ourselves, and I'm seeing Matt just not that far ahead of me, and it's our maybe second lap, and I'm like, huh, the tires still feel sticky, they feel warm, and we're coming up to turn 6, and I was like, you know what, I'm dropping the hammer. So I dropped the hammer. I'm like, I'm gonna catch Matt because we're very competitive, us two. So I dropped the hammer. I'm trying to catch Matt, and I come up turn 7, and I can just feel the whole car lift up, and I could just tell, like that meme where it's like, at this moment, he knew he fucked up. And that's what went through my mind. And I could just feel the car start to slide. My tires weren't warm enough. And I started into a spin and I hit the wall in turn 7, just smoke everywhere. And yeah, I didn't get hurt, thank God, but it did pucker my asshole and my eyes were the size of baseballs coming through turn 7. So I really respect that corner now at Area 27.
I bet you do. I remember coming through turn 9 and they were waving the caution flag and everything else. So I quickly made my way into the pits and jumped out of my car. And obviously you weren't behind me. I knew something had happened.
Yeah.
And the tow truck was leaving the pits. Their fire truck was leaving the pits. And the ambulance was leaving the pits, and I'm like, oh my God, I remember jumping out of my car and, like, getting to a radio and trying to find out, making sure you were okay. And at that point, they had said you'd got out of the car and everything else. And Kelly was, like, losing it because obviously it's always been something, your husband's in a race car.
Yeah.
And it can be scary. And I don't think she really expected that. I don't think any of us did.
No.
Because, but
yeah, it was an eye opener that day. Now I really respect the tires, and I make sure I do a few hot laps before I push it any at all. It's definitely changed my way on my look at race car drivers, and it's crazy how much G's those car pull, and
it's crazy how much work it is. Like,
it's so much work.
Like, we would only go out for 20-minute sessions.
And I felt like I was a 100-year-old man when I got back in.
Well, yeah, and you're like, you're thirsty. You're like, your mouth's like sticky,
your
right?
Arms, the pump in your arms from steering and holding on.
Yeah,
the
it's a
steering
lot
wheel.
to hold on to. Out of I don't, all the athletes, like, I think Formula One drivers are the ones who should be paid the most. Like, you're out there risking your life every day and everything else. And
I don't see any
just
fat Formula One drivers. Like, they're all in good shape.
You have to be.
Yeah,
for sure. So Dream Rally it was 2016 was the first ever Dream Rally. And I remember that actually kind of planning on being a small event that we put on the city, and it wouldn't be, it was going to be because at that point my uncle had passed away with brain cancer, and we did that first fundraiser at my house for the Central Okanagan Hospice Association. And I remember my sister and I saying that, we're going to do these events and we're going to start our foundation and give back to the community that's been so great to us and things like that. And we had said that the Dream Rally was going to be one of our small events of the year. And and we were going to do a big event, small event, and the small event being Dream Rally. And after the first Dream Rally, it was 110 cars. We I want to say we raised like 60, 70 grand, something like that.
Mhm.
And we had everybody back at the old dealership under a tent and just had like a small little auction. We auctioned off a few little things
Yeah,
and
we had a little live music inside.
yeah. And I think at that point we knew that that event was going to be the backbone of this business.
Mhm.
And I think it has been. It's the time of year that I look forward to the most. Now we're doing it every 2 years. So this year, coming up July 25th,
Yeah, I'm excited.
it's turned into, I don't know, the most amazing experience I've ever been a part of. And
Me
I
too.
think a lot of the drivers too, have had the same feel. And I remember convincing people like, hey, please come, these kids um would love to be able to be a passenger of yours. And their comment sometimes was, it's summer, it's this, I have family in
The
town, I have
plans,
all
yeah.
these things, right? It's like, and I asked for a favor to me. And at the start of every rally, I run up the start line and give all the kiddos a high five and stuff. And it's cool to see kind of all the drivers that are like, they got their sunglasses down, they're wiping tears away and stuff, because they're just so happy to be able to share their passion
Yeah.
and their car with these kids that have gone through a really tough time in their life. And for those of you who don't know what the Okanagan Dream Rally is, it's a rally we put on in Kelowna. We put kids in the passenger seat, kids who've gone through a tough time in their life. They've either battled for their life at BC Children's Hospital, spent time at Ronald McDonald House, and or kids who've lost parents and grandparents, and kids who are just going through a really tough time and
Just need a good day.
need that day. And it's been so cool to see the car community, our community, the leaders in our community and our country, because our country has backed us. We had Harjeet Sajjan and Stephen Fuhrer, and
Mhm.
the Air Force comes through and does a fly pass for us to start the rally, and
The mayor.
the mayor, and all these amazing people that make this happen. The BCRCMP coming down with all the bikes and stuff, because we have to do this in a very safe way.
Sure.
There's these kiddos in the passenger seat. So this year I think is going to be the biggest year. I think there's been a lot of kind of hype over the past year that people who have heard of it but haven't done it yet. A
Mhm.
lot of people from Vancouver, a lot of people from the United States,
A lot of new
Alberta.
clients over the last 2 years that have
Yeah.
bought cars from us that are excited to come. So I'm excited.
Me too. What do you think you're going to drive?
I don't know. That's the thing. We got to pick something this year and have a little fun with it this year. Like I want to do up something. I always do. People have seen my Dream Rally cars. I always do something special every year, as I know you do. I tried doing it myself a few times, which I do not have the patience to wrap my own car. I learned that in my first few, but I don't know. I'm. Last year I had the Aston. The last Dream Rally I had a 488. What did you have last Dream Rally?
SV Aventador.
Oh yeah, you had the Adventure
The
SV,
white
the
SV.
white SV. That car was beautiful.
Mhm.
I don't know. What are you thinking?
I'm in the same boat. I'm not sure.
I know.
I think it's going to be McLaren for me.
Yeah.
But
If you do McLaren, I will do either Lamborghini, Ferrari, or I don't know. But yeah, we should do something special this year for our cars.
I think we will. I think we've got some time to spend some time on it, and get sponsors and
Yes.
things like that, and get some wheel companies involved, and some well, we I guess we do have a little bit of a challenge I think we're going to try to come up with.
Yes, we do.
And I think that could probably be a different video. But I think we're going to have a pretty cool conversation, or
Yes.
competition, the
Little
two
competition.
of us. Yeah.
Little healthy competition's always good.
to see who can build the cooler car and have
Yeah,
everybody vote on it. Um, yeah, we're gonna pass over $5 million raised this year,
which is amazing.
which is gonna be super cool.
Which has got to be one of the biggest charities per day. Like how much we raise in one day, and how short of a time.
Yeah, so was it 4 years ago? 4 or 5 years ago, I think it was the biggest um, raised charity event in the Okanagan. Was 1.7 million or something. And yeah, and it's not just the money, and those people who are listening who want to get involved and things like that too. It takes an army of us to do this great thing.
Yeah.
It takes volunteers. It takes everybody to come up with their car and spend that time, and the kids too. It's nerve-wracking for them.
Yeah, jumping in with a stranger they don't know, and the parents letting their kids jump in with strangers.
Yeah, it's I'm excited for it. Again, July 25th.
And you'll see
Gumball.
Gumball, yes,
Should we get
Gumball.
into Gumball?
We could get into Gumball. Gumball was an amazing experience. Definitely took some years off our lives, but it was definitely a bucket list item that we wanted to do, and we always wanted to do. I remember the movie. There was the Gumball 3000 movie,
Cannonball Run.
Cannonball Run. That was one of my favorite movies as a kid, just watching that. And it was pretty much like that. Like
100%.
It was pretty much like that movie.
Yeah.
Like crazy. So
It's
much
not
fun.
a race.
It's not a race, quotation. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not a race.
But very cool experience. So I can tell you one thing. Gumball 3000 does an amazing job of the setup. Like,
Unbelievable.
it is so well done, and just great people too.
Do you have a favorite point in that rally that we did? Like your favorite?
Well, it'll be Talladega.
Talladega. That was
So for those who don't know, so we did Toronto to Miami.
It was supposed to be Cuba, but our hotel blew up or something, and it was something to do with the missile crisis. They're like, you know what? We're just gonna go to the tip of the Florida Keys and back to Miami instead of all the way to Cuba, which was cool. I'd never been in the Florida Keys.
That was cool, and we stopped at Indy 500.
Yes.
My first time at a big oval track like that. I've never been to NASCAR or anything like that, but Indy 500 is the biggest sporting event in the world. We rolled in, and it was actually pretty cool how Gumball set it up. They put us that morning. We all got downstairs. They put us in buses. They had a full police escort all the way to the track.
Yeah,
because the traffic,
the amount of people
in Indianapolis was crazy. All these people trying to get to the track and stuff. So that was really cool. They did a really amazing job, and we spent the day at the track. And I remember me, you, Damon, and Dave somehow got our way into the pits.
Yes.
Remember we were walking around the pits, and then we found the trophy.
Yeah, we
all
kissed the trophy.
We all got a picture with the trophy.
Kissing the trophy.
And then we got our pictures with the trophy, and I think at that point we were pretty much getting kicked out because they found out that we didn't have the right passes to get in there. And Steve Aoki was there, and we had got pictures with him and beside the trophy and stuff, which was cool. And that was neat watching Indy 500.
Yeah, that was awesome. For the blink of an eye that you got to see the cars pass through at 200 miles an hour.
That's the point. That's the whole thing with watching races.
Like
though.
Formula One, my first
Formula
time.
One.
Like, holy Jesus, you're sitting there and cars come and they're gone within a half a second.
Yeah.
And then you wait till they get all the way back around. Thank God they got big TVs in front of you so you can still watch the rest of the race.
Yeah, and Gumball had it set up pretty cool. They had that room for us, and it was very, very well done. And then we went to Nashville.
Nashville was wicked.
Nashville was cool. They had the whole main road in Nashville closed down, and that's one thing. Like if you've never heard of Gumball before, they set up the coolest arrivals, and there are so many people in every city waiting for us, and just they have the whole roads closed down, and we park. Speaking of cars parked,
Yeah, I know where you're going with this one.
was that Atlanta?
No, Atlanta. We were in. Might have been Atlanta. No, I think you're right. I think it was Atlanta.
Where and so Gumball is you drive all day, party all night, drive all day, and so that was a late night. and we got up super late. And not that we had to really be out of the hotel at a certain time, but there was kind of like a cutoff where they would start removing the barriers and things like that.
Because you got to remember where they park us, it's part of a main road that they're closing off, and then they need everyone gone by like 8, 9 in the morning so they can remove the barriers and open the whatever main road that they're using.
And we were driving the 765 LT.
Yeah.
And we rolled out of there like an hour late. And our car is just sitting smack dab in the middle of the road. And all the cars have to go around it. These people trying to get to work. And I couldn't imagine what some of those conversations in those vehicles of people trying to get to work, and they have to drive around and some asshole left their McLaren in the middle of the road.
Well, now you just told them what assholes did that. So anyone that's listening, we're probably going to get a lot of hate mail now. Thanks, assholes, for leaving your McLaren in the middle of the highway.
It's funny. I mean, I guess if they had no idea what was going on the day before, they'd be like, what the heck is going on?
Who's parking there?
Yeah.
You can't park there, sir.
And then we went to Talladega, which is cool because our car was fully deckled. That was our...
Yes.
We knew we were going there, and we wanted to like put a livery in our car.
We had that theme.
We had that theme for sure, and the shake and bake on the bumper. And we got to go in the passenger seat of the NASCARs around the track, which was super cool.
That was an awful experience for me because, as you guys know, or if anyone watched me on any DDE videos, I'm the worst passenger. I hate being a passenger. I love going fast, don't get me wrong. I love fast cars. I just like being in control. I do not like being a passenger. So poor Matt had to be my passenger for all of Gumball. I started as a passenger, and Matt's like, I can't do this. You're driving.
Yeah, it's the worst. It's like having your girlfriend in the passenger seat and telling you to slow down, stop, brake, do this. Like I was like, you know what? You just drive. I'll hang out in the passenger seat, and you wouldn't even do anything in there. You wouldn't even like most co-pilots are there giving you direction, looking at the text and seeing like if there's police ahead or listening to the conversation everybody's having. You did nothing.
I was too scared. I was watching and I was yelling him to brake, and I was air braking half the time because Matt liked to go really fast and then jam his brakes on last minute because he liked to see the air brake come up. And there was times where I thought we were going to pile into the back of the car in front of us. So I couldn't do what I was supposed to do at all. But Matt was a great co-pilot. He started having some fun because we bought some Nerf guns for the trip.
Yeah.
Like pretty big guns. We bought so many Nerf balls.
We just pull up beside people, and I'd reach out the side window and like shoot Nerf guns at people, and it'd be the best when the windows were down and their ball was bouncing around in their car and stuff.
I got a sick photo. We got a sick photo of you. I don't know. We must have been doing 100 miles an hour, and you had you were out the window with the gun shooting the car.
That's still the photo like that. You know, when you set it up on your profile on your phone and you share your contact. That's the one. That's my picture. That's my favorite photo. And but I remember we had Shmi and DDE and everybody else, and we were all ripping down the road and firing the Nerf guns at them. That was fun.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun on that. We were quite characters on there. I remember doing a fist bump
the 765 fist bump.
Yeah,
there was a good one.
Our 765 and another group with the 765, and we were cooking. We must have been doing 100 miles an hour, 80 to 100, and we did a fist bump at that speed on the highway.
Yeah, and that's like bringing the mirrors were this far apart from each other.
It was crazy, but that was a cool experience. And the concert we went to, there were so many unbelievable events all the way through that. Like every day, one up to the day before.
Yeah, if you're listening and have the means to do it, if you can ever do a Gumball, I would highly suggest doing it. It'll be an experience that you just won't forget, and take someone that is close to you like we are and go make that memory
because you have to live in close quarters with them.
Yeah,
throughout the experience.
Yeah, we only got pulled over once.
Twice. Once we got pulled over. I got pulled over thanks to my buddy, Mr. Damon, decided to do a donut at the intersection and then take off down the road and passed me after he did it. So the cop saw it from a distance. We couldn't tell who it was. And he came flying up behind me and pulled me over. And I was driving a white car and they had a black car. So obviously he didn't see the color of the car that did it. It had no clue.
He was really nice
He
though.
was super nice, and he
And
didn't.
we got out.
We
We
got
did a
out of it.
photo with
Yeah,
him and stuff. And
we did a photo with him, and it was still it was still funny to get pulled over. I thought for sure I was getting arrested. So I felt like I didn't know how tough they would be, because sometimes in Canada you get pulled over in a supercar, they can be a little more aggressive because they don't like the fact that you're driving a supercar. But these Southern boys, these guys were awesome,
yeah, they were really cool.
really cool.
Yeah. Then we ended in Miami at the Hard Rock.
The Hard Rock,
That was a really cool
the
entrance and stuff. They just dialed it every single time, every event, and
Atlanta, the rooftop party,
yeah,
top of that skyscraper was unbelievable.
yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
We will do another one.
for sure.
We will for sure.
I heard the next one's coming around. I forget where it is, but I heard it's gonna be.
It's Miami to Mexico City.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Yeah, that's soon though. We're not going on that one, but
Oh, that's this year, isn't it?
yeah.
We'll wait for another one to come around closer again.
And it was just the same year of Gumball is when we moved into this building.
Yeah.
It was kind of around COVID, so this used to be a sound studio.
Yeah.
Now it's a studio again.
Yep.
But we were running out of space when we had two buildings.
Yes.
We had two buildings on McCurdy. Cars just jammed everywhere. We ended up getting a third warehouse.
Yep.
Remember, we were down on Enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was time for us to kind of get a big building. And this just came up, and this just ended up working perfectly.
But we
it's our
did have another spot before that you ended up getting the land, and we were going to build
You're
August Motor Cars. Remember that?
right across from their store.
Yeah.
I went through development permits. We
Everything.
rezoned that property.
We had the
We did.
building designed.
I spent so much money doing that.
Yes.
And then this came up, and it was so perfect. It was far enough out of town. It was close to the airport. It's great for us when clients fly in, and it's easy for us to go pick them up. The hotel's down the street, and it's a nice neighborhood out here too. As we've got lots of room, and we
Yeah. It's
build
very,
our
very commercial. It's so different. People don't expect walking through that door. And I love where my office is because I get to see every time someone walks through that door, what they say, how they're blown away, just the look on their face, because they're not expecting to see what's back here.
well, and pictures on the internet don't do it justice.
No, not at all. And
It-
just walking back here and seeing the cars and the flags, and it's amazing. It's every brand, make, model, classic cars, muscle cars, exotic cars. It's just amazing to see when you walk back here.
Yeah, it was cool building this out. I think it was so weird before. Like when we redid the front,
Yeah.
even back here, it was like plywood walls and things
Yeah.
like that. So we did a lot to kind of make it special in our own way and different. And, I think there's maybe some changes and some things we'll add here in the next little bit. I mean,
Yeah.
we've got the garage and we've got customs, and, we've got an idea to build another building beside us, and
Yep.
another kind of twin building for those two businesses, which will be fun to have everything on the same piece of property. And
An automobile strip mall of cars, garage, customs, kind of a little bit of everything.
marine.
Yeah, marine. Yeah, it'll be cool when that's done.
Well, what was a lot of fun too is remember how I had Eleanor, which was one car that I still to this day love. That was a 1 of 65 commissioned by Carol Shelby. It was, I don't know, it always broke down, but it didn't upset me because I just loved the car so much.
I remember the first time you took it, you're like, 5 minutes later, you call me, hey, can you come pick me up? I'm like, why? Don't you have Eleanor? You're like, yeah, it broke down. So,
always
always
it
broke
was
down.
always on a tow truck. But we worked all the kinks out of it, and it ended up being a great car. But we had that video where we came in here. Remember, I was doing donuts in here, and that was like our announcement, our like V2
Yeah,
August
2.0.
version 2 announcement and stuff. And it's become internet famous.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, this building is something else. A lot of memories in this building.
and a lot more memories to make.
Yes.
So what do you think's what's next?
For us, hopefully there's no more businesses we're opening. Is that what you mean?
No,
Okay.
no. Well, I think we've got everything we need,
Yeah,
and we've got amazing people who work for us,
great
and
team.
great team.
Yeah.
And I think expanding on August Global and being able to look after people from with leaving their cars at their house,
Yeah.
and us sending our photographers and doing what we do best and marketing their vehicle to as many people as we can.
Take away all the headache that people go through trying to sell their own car, which is nice.
Well, I mean, everybody's tried selling something on Facebook Marketplace.
Oh,
I don't think many people have a great experience.
yeah. So
I
much
mean,
fraud nowadays.
well, we deal with it all. I mean, we deal with some odd things.
Some hot, yeah. I remember the funniest thing I've had to appraise, because we get people wanting to trade in everything from boats to cars to condos. Still to this day, the funniest thing I've ever appraised was 2 horses.
The two
The
Clydesdales.
2 Clydesdales. I had to learn, they measure them by hands. That's something that I learned, and it was just funny, like trying to find a number on 2 horses, which we did.
Yeah.
We ended up finding a home for the horses to do a deal. It ended up not being what he was hoping to get, which happens, but it was still something. That's the craziest thing that I've ever had to appraise was 2 horses.
I would hope so.
Yes. Still to this day, no goats or anything else, but 2 horses.
Yeah.
We've had condos. We've had
Lots of boats.
lots of boats. But yeah, horses is probably the craziest thing.
What about stories? Is there a customer story that resonates with you the most, like that you have always remembered, and in a fact of like someone's dream car or anything like that?
So many. We've had. We had a young guy that came in. Actually, one of the very first cars that we sold was still cool to see. Like customer came in with his dad looking at cars, younger guy, and here we've taught people not to, you never judge a book by its cover. Never think people don't have money if they do or don't. He came in. We ended up doing the experience for this guy was he got to buy his dream car and then do a video shoot with us. We took him on that video shoot that we did, and we shot at the hangar at not OK Heli,
Alpine.
Alpine Helicopters, and we used his car in the video. And he thanked us, and he still to this day, we still talk to him and
Still
see
has
him.
the car.
He still has the car.
Yeah.
And we get to see, and there's so many experiences like that throughout the last 10 years that we get to be part of these stories. And
One of my favorite was just as of late, actually, was the gentleman who was in his late 70s or early 80s, actually, and he bought the Rolls Royce.
yes,
And he had a bunch of buddies who were in care homes, some in Kamloops and some here.
mm-hmm.
And he bought that car because it was a dream car of his. And now he spends his time picking up his buddies at the care homes
Yep.
and going out for drives with them. I think that, I don't know, that is just such a neat story. And, he just kind of said, he's like, you know what, I'm old now and I want to have my dream car.
Yeah.
And we were able to help him through that. It was a really cool story. And
There's so many great stories like that. Like the guy that just bought the McLaren 650, we did a video with him. Amazing guy, bought that McLaren 650 dream car again. And that's one of the things we get to be part of is selling dreams, which is nice. Not like every other dealership, they're selling cars that people need just to get to work and back. We get to sell actual dreams, which is amazing to be part of.
yeah, it's cool. A lot of the clients, it's like that was on my wall when I was a kid, or my dad had that car.
What car was on your wall?
Countach, Diablo Mercy.
Mine was a
those kind of
Diablo.
things.
I
Yeah.
remember a bright red Diablo, black background, said Diablo in red. That was the car on my wall. I still remember, like the poster's still on my wall.
And then you got to drive a red
Yep.
Diablo.
I
Remember?
got to drive a red Diablo. Went and picked up one with another good client of ours. We bought it out of Spokane, went and drove there, picked it up, and brought it back.
How's that experience?
It was an experience. It was an experience. It was a great experience. It was an amazing experience, actually. I was passed out part of the way back, but it was a good experience.
Was that car hard to drive?
That car, they always say you don't want to meet your heroes. It was kind of the same thing for me driving that car. Like, by the time I drove that car, I drove so many other supercars, more modern tech and, Huracans, 488s, 458s. When you jump into a Diablo, the first thing you notice when you sit in, the pedals aren't straight. They're off to the side. So your hips are kind of off when you're driving that car. And it was a convertible, so with the roof on, I didn't fit in it very good. So my head was put against the roof. It wasn't the most comfortable car to drive. Now, different the Diablo SV we have being a hardtop, that car I fit in. That car's a nicer driving car for me. But my first Diablo I drove, I was unfortunately disappointed. What have you had a car that you drove that you're like, oh my God?
Like disappointed and thought
Yeah,
that it was gonna be way better.
Countach.
Countach for sure. Like I love that car. I still do. I would still, given the opportunity, I would still buy a Countach.
Same with me with the Diablo. I love the car. Don't get me wrong. It's just when you so used to driving something different, you jump into that car, you're not expecting
I can't
it.
even fit. I remember we had one, and I can't even get in it to move it.
I know.
It's way too small for me. But I love looking at the car. It's a gorgeous car.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna sit around this table often.
Yeah.
With some pretty amazing people and amazing clients, and we'll have Damon on soon. And
We got lots of stories too, like sad stories, happy stories. We got a ton of stories too.
Yeah, I think it'll be cool going forward, and like I said, there'll be a few people that we'll talk to together, and I guess one question I'll ask you, it's gonna be different than the rest of the questions I normally would ask a guest. Where do you see August Motor Cars in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years? Well, with how fast we're growing, oh my God, that's a tough one. I'd like to see us obviously raising a ton of money like we are, being involved in the community even more than we are. And I'd like to see us have more locations. Maybe start something up in the U.S. I know we've had a lot of people reaching out wanting to see us in the U.S., which would be nice to be able to have a store out there.
I see us building on global and building a different way, a different marketplace, a marketplace that the world hasn't seen yet. And I think we have the ingredients to do something like that. So I think we have some pretty cool goals and things that we want to do as in August Motor Cars, and where we want the business to be and where we want the business to go.
Yep.
And so I think if you're listening, you're watching, subscribe, find us on Apple Music and Spotify and YouTube and our social media at August After Dark, and follow along with this journey. All the information will come here. We're going to be talking to some amazing people who have done amazing work, entrepreneurs, athletes, a whole bunch of different stuff. We're going to be talking cars. We're going to be talking just what that path looks like, because a lot of people think, that this all just happens. And
everyone's path's so different.
It is very different, and we want to be different. We want to give people hope. We want to give people, the idea that people need to dream, and dreamers eventually achieve, and to don't forget your goals. And your goals don't have to be what you see on the internet.
No.
Your goals could be something that are yours. Those are yours to hit. Those are yours to follow, and hopefully lighting a fire for those who are listening that they can dream, and that to never forget about your goals, and just never stop fighting for it. We've been kicked down many of times, and we've gotten up bigger and better and stronger.
For sure.
And I want everybody listening to know that whatever you do, whatever you put your mind to, stick with it, trust yourself, trust the process, and you will be successful.
And everyone measures success so differently. To one person might be having 10 supercars in their garage, and there's nothing wrong with that. To the next person, it might be having a ton of money in their bank. To the next person, it might be just being able to spend time with their family and friends. Whatever's important to you, that's what success is.